I'm going to be answering some questions that I've gotten from a lot of people about my freelancing, my remote work, and my content marketing career. So the first question is, would you quit your 9 to 5 for your remote work? Now, the honest answer is that yes, I can do that. As much as I want to be a doctor, I want to be a medical doctor, I don't want to do clinical medicine. And so, yes, I can quit my 9 to 5 for my remote work. Also, I think I earn more from remote working, from working as a content writer compared to working as a medical doctor. So the answer is yes, I can quit my 9 to 5 for my remote work. So the next one is security of salary. That's a full-time remote role versus a freelance remote role. And the truth is, I've worked as a freelancer and I've worked as a full-time employee. And guys, I choose working as a full-time employee because that way you're kind of secure. You know what you're going to earn at the end of every month, and you can plan, you can save, and it's just better. And sometimes you don't get to do as much as you would do if you were working freelance, right? And a lot of people charge you per hour, per project for freelance work, but for full-time they don't charge you that way. So yeah, I'll take it at full-time. How do I find gigs online? Now this question is multi-dimensional because I find gigs a lot of ways. But then recently, one way that I found clients a lot in recent times is through code pitching on LinkedIn. Full-time role I work at right now is a job that I applied for the job, but then I reached out to the employees on LinkedIn, and so that I was able to get the job like later because of the connection and the relationship I had built with the employees on LinkedIn. So I'll still say LinkedIn code pitching is like my first step. The other job that I do, which is like a freelance job, is also I also got the job through LinkedIn. So yeah, code pitching is like my number one way to find jobs online. Code pitching on LinkedIn. My second way would be through social media generally, not just LinkedIn. And my third way would be through applying for jobs. Now, I would break this down in other videos, but this is like the easy answer. So the next question is, how do I find legit remote gigs from Nigeria? So the first thing you have to do is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very legit place, and a lot of times people who scam you are not on LinkedIn, or even if they are on LinkedIn, they may not have you have to check their profiles. Their profiles may not be good, yeah. Okay, also you can find remote gigs on Upwork, on Remote OK, on different job boards. You can also find them on Indeed, Upwork, ProBlogger, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, literally everywhere that you can find people, you can find remote gigs there. So the next question is, how do I get paid internationally? I think my best way to get paid internationally is through a US bank account. The US bank account I use was given to me by GigPay. So GigPay is an app for receiving international payments. So if you know GigPay, please use GigPay. You can also get paid through Payoneer, through Wise, through PayPal. So recently, the company I work for, they pay us through Deal. But then Deal requires you to have your withdrawal methods, and I use GigPay as well. So basically, having a US account makes it easier. Their rates are better, and it's just easier. Next question is, what do I do if freelancing income is inconsistent? Now, the truth is, most times freelancing income is inconsistent. You get some today, you don't get some tomorrow. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is to make sure to save. Know how much you can spend every month, and then save the rest of the money. So that way, when you don't have so much, you can use the money you saved to guide. Another way would be to look for a full-time role. Full-time roles, you can get a full-time remote role. You can be a full-time employee as a company that works remotely. So instead of freelance jobs, freelance gigs here and then, having a full-time role gives you that stability that you need. Another way to make sure that you do not that your income is consistent is also through diversifying your clients. Now, there are lots of times when, for example, in a year, Q4 is the best time to look for clients. That's this period, Q4. So the best way to make sure that your income is consistent is to diversify. Get clients in different industries, get clients for different reasons. Now, for me, I don't just do content writing. I can do social media writing here. I can do website copywriting there. I can even do UGC. So diversify your income, do other things. You don't have to do one specific thing. Start a business even, sell something. So that way you're sure that you're getting consistent money at every time. So the last question I'm going to be answering will be, how do I have the confidence, the guts to reach out to clients? Now, what thing I'm going to say is, I have this mindset of what's the worst thing that is going to happen? They don't reply me. So see, nobody cares about you as much as you think they do. That's number one. Number two, these people are far away places in the world. They are miles away from you. And so if you're going to be thinking about what they are going to say to reach out to them, then you're going to be losing out. So I'm going to just advise you to just take away that fear and just, be confident. Another question I'm going to answer is, would you recommend building a personal brand? Yes. The answer is yes. As much as you don't really need a personal brand to move your freelancing business forward, you need a personal brand to get inbound hits, to get inbound clients, so people can reach out to you specifically because they saw your personal brand. I think there's this girl I know on YouTube, on LinkedIn rather. Someone reached out to her and just said, "Oh, I used to see your content. I see your content on my LinkedIn feed, and I really want to work with you." And just like that, she got the job. Guys, personal brand, you should not be sleeping on your personal brand. So build your personal brand, post content, post your processes, post your results, and people are going to be reaching out to you in no time. So yeah, that's a yes for me. How did you start content writing? How did you start working for remote clients? Now, this is a question that I answered in my video, how I started working remotely in Nigeria. Now, I'm going to be explaining everything that happened in 2020 when I started. Another thing I'm just going to tell you is that I started by reaching out. That's number one. Then secondly, I also started by referral. One of my friends referred me to someone who hired me for a role. And then from there, I met someone who was a content writer. And the journey just started from there. So I'm going to tell you, you should watch that video to find out exactly how I started. So yeah, these are all the questions I have. If you have more questions for me, please leave them in the comment section and I'm going to be answering them. If you want to talk to me personally, you can book a consultation call with me on ADP, or just reach out to me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, or on YouTube here. Thank you so much. Bye.